back to Sleeper Barbecue. Today we're going to do a quick little cook. It's going to be just a Texas ham steak. It's about 1.5 inch, 2 inch thick ham steak. I'm going to be seasoning it with Uncle Steve's Competition Cow Shake. I'm also going to be barbecuing it. I tried one with a caramel and a pecan chip outer crust around the perimeter of it, and that turned out good, but it really wasn't good if you had to rewarm it because you lost your caramel, obviously. So if you make it, eat it all in one night. But this time we're going to use the Uncle Steve's No Name sauce, the barbecue sauce, and we're going to barbecue this one. I've already got the one side already rubbed out. We're doing with the rub, but I got a new mic I'm trying today. The last one that I had crapped out, brand new, crapped out. And I'm also going to be introducing this new little thermometer. It's an instant read, and it's also a timer and a cooking thermometer. We'll get into that a little bit later on. The wife has insisted on buying me several bags of these because they are at a good price right now. It's the Kingsford. Today I'm going to be using the basil sage on this ham. So we got a variety of new things we're going to be doing, and we got some old stuff that we're going to be trying to implement changes in the flavor profile, such as this ham steak. We're also going to be cooking on the Kamado style Cypress ceramic egg. That's already up to temp. It's about 225 right now, so let me get things changed around and we'll bring you back here shortly. These, a while back from a Amish butcher shop, there's a shop by me that they're actually USDA approved now. So I went there and bought a couple of them, and I was pretty happy with the first one, but this will be the second one. We're just going to load it up with seasoning. It's 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, 2 inches mostly overall. But we're going to load this thing up. I want some of that flavor from this Competition Cow Shake. So it's seasoned up. We're going to let it sit and sweat, and we'll bring it back in when we're getting ready to put it on the ceramic egg. Alrighty, so we're back again. I did add a little bit more Frontier lump charcoal just to make sure I had enough coal to last this for this cook. And I put my basil, sage, and thyme Kingsford briquettes in there, the little flavor briquettes. I went with 3 because have heard where people just aren't real happy with all the flavors that you can get out of it, that they're normally not really 100% happy with them. As in being maybe a little weak in flavor. So I thought I'd try and change that up a little bit by adding 3 cubes in there instead of just 1. I am cooking offset from the heat. My Frontier lump coal is over here, and I'll be cooking it on the opposite side of the heat. And we're going to let this thing roll. Also, as I said earlier, I'm going to be introducing a new thermometer, which we'll bring into here next. Alright, as I said, there will be a new thermometer being used today. A company called Joyhill reached out to me, and other people have already done their reviews on these things, and to be honest with you, I needed something to get me remotivated back into the cooking scheme of things. I sort of lost interest a little bit, and then I just needed a swift kick in the butt, and I knew if I committed to this little thermometer that I would get it done. So we're going to put to the test today. Now this little thermometer, it has magnets in the back, so you can hook it onto your stove, your refrigerator. 40-inch long probe from the temperature gauge to the end of the probe is 40 inches. I really sort of like it already, to be honest with you. I went through it a little bit. It comes in different colors. I decided to go with the shiny chrome because I'm sort of a shiny chrome type guy. But you can also, on the back of this thing, you can flip this over from a cook where it monitors the cook, or you can flip it over to timer where whatever time you put in there, it'll count down or count up for you, but it will not give you the internal temp of the meat. It's just a cooking timer at that point. So we're going to click it back over to cook. Over here is just, you know, your on-off switch. It has, as I said earlier, the magnetic, or it has a little easel back on it. The easel back doesn't really open up that far, but it's probably adequate. To be honest with you, I'm going to be using the magnets personally. On here also, it basically has all your meat settings. I guess it would help if I turned it back on. It has all your meat settings on here. So right here are all your pre-programmed USDA cooking temperatures. This will have all the icons for your proteins. Hopefully that can be read. We're cooking not lamb, not cow, not veal. We're not cooking hamburgers. We're cooking pork today. So I got my pork setting in there. This right here is the temperature in which you want the meat to come off of, whether you want it medium well, medium, rare, whatever you want. That's what the center button is in there for, and it also has other functions, which I'm not going to get real deep into it. Right here, this third button is to tell you what if you have it on well on pork, it's going to start going off at 170. Now, you can override all these temperatures just by holding down here, and you can change it by going up and down with these buttons here. I'm going to leave it how it is right now. I did put an alert in there. I have it, the alert is going to go off at 140. So I will actually probe it at that point and then see what I think and how high I want to, how much, you know, hotter I want this thing to, or how much longer I want it to cook, I should say. So on this probe, you can actually use this probe as a instant read probe. So obviously you can put it in the meat and leave it in the meat, but you can also just probe it for instant read. We are going to be double checking this new thermometer along with our ThermoPro instant read pen. So let me get this thing set into the meat so that we can start monitoring things. As I said, I'm just going to use the magnetic back. We're going to set that right there. Magnet's pretty decent. I don't see it coming off there by any ways, no means. I don't normally probe my meat for probe temperatures, but I am going to do it for the sake of this review on this thermometer here. So we are set. Let's get the lid closed. And get it going. All right, there we go. Texas ham steak. Barbecued with Uncle Steve's sauce of no name and seasoned with Uncle Steve's competition cow shake. Let's get a knife out and get a taste of this, and we'll bring it right back. Liking what I'm seeing. All right, enough the picture taking. Let's get a bite of this thing. Excellent. All right, there you go. It's my Texas barbecued ham steak. I use the Uncle Steve's sauce with no name. This stuff is great. I'm telling you, I highly recommend it. You need to try this stuff. He's got 2 different size bottles now. I mean, if you're scared of trying it, then you know, get the, I think this is a 12-ounce bottle, and then he has a 22-ounce bottle also. But I'm telling you, something about when heat gets on this sauce, it changes the flavor profile. Excellent stuff. And of course, my rub was Uncle Steve's shake, a competition cow shake. This was the only rub that I used. I didn't use any other salt and pepper, no binders, no nothing. I just wanted a peppery barbecued ham steak. Took it inside. I tasted here, as you saw. It was really good. Lots of flavor. Did get a smoke ring in it. You know, smoke rings are aesthetics, but I do believe that they get, you know, shows you just got that flavor, that smoke flavor inside of it. Smoked it on my Bayou Classic Kamado style ceramic cooker. Used Frontier lump. I did throw in a couple of the Kingsford flavored briquettes. I think it was 3 total, and it was the basil and sage and thyme flavored briquettes. I think those things add a little bit of flavor to them. It's nothing really dramatic, but I tell you what, when they're burning, they smell really good. I really couldn't say I tasted the sage and the thyme and all that from the briquettes. I do get a smoky flavor, obviously, but the barbecue and the peppery probably overpowered, you know, what you got from those briquettes. But I'll definitely use those briquettes again. But good stuff. Took it inside, sliced it up real thin. Wife and I made some sandwiches for dinner off that ham steak. So we'll find out later on if my microphones work or not. I'm hoping they are. My only concern is whether they're synced properly together, but we will tell. These are brand new today. The other set I had was brand new also, but they just stopped taking a charge. So, and then the other new thing we have is this Joyhill digital touchscreen thermometer. Let's start with the quirks. The quirks I have, and it's nothing really bad, I understand it. So it runs on 2 AAA batteries. And obviously, as it sits there for a little bit, it goes into a power saving mode. If you're cooking outside and you get a little bit of some sun on it, you can still see the temperature, but it's faint because of it going into the power mode, saving mode. But all you got to do is touch the screen and it's bright again. But if you wanted to avoid that, if you just, you know, taking a peek at the temperature from a distance, it could be a little hard to read. But you know, that would be my only downfall to it. I do like it. I did not use the easel in the back side of this thing because I just didn't think, I mean, it holds it, but just really rather have the magnetic mount that's on this thing because it just seems to me to be a sturdier mount. I tested this 4 times throughout the cook with my classic Thermopen, the original here, and it was only 1 time was it off by 2 degrees, and I'll call that my error. This probe, as you can see, is pretty daggone long. So when you're trying to probe the about same area with the Thermopen, because I'm trying to get accurate readings on it, I was off 1 time 2 degrees, but I moved the Thermopen around and I hit the exact temperature that this Joyhill digital thermometer had said on the screen. I also took, after I tested it 4 different times during the cook, I pulled the probe out of the protein, in this case the ham steak, and let it cool down. Because one of the things that it says in its ad is that it is a meat probe, also a temperature probe. So I wanted to try that too. So I did use my Thermopin. Everybody, I'm sure most people are familiar with Thermopins. This is an older one. They do have these things that are newer and actually read a little quicker, but you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it type thing is my opinion. This is the Mark IV. So I probed it, and it's not as fast as that Thermopin by no means. So as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, this Canon battery pack again crapped out on me. Hopefully I got what I needed to get recorded. But so anyhow, I probed it with the Thermopin, and then I probed it with this Joyhill. They say Joyhill, but it's actually spelled J-Hill. And I probed the same area that I probed with the Thermopin with this, and I got a pretty much the same exact reading with this Joyhill as I did with the Thermopin, but where the Thermopin is pretty instant, it took probably 15 seconds. It read a temperature, but it was the immediate temperature, and it didn't jump up to the exact temperature until probably within 15 seconds, 10 seconds, which isn't a big deal. But if you're looking for something a little bit faster than that, this is not going to give you an instant reading for a probe temp, but it did work, and it did give you a temperature that was really in the lines of the Thermopin. I think it was off by 1 degree one time. Otherwise, I made sure I probed in the same spots, and I kept getting the same temperatures with both of these. I don't know that I said it also. I was looking over the instructions and trying to think of what I may have forgotten to say, other than the fact that it does take 2 AAA batteries. But if you're using this as a timer, this has a range of 99 minutes and 59 seconds, so 100 minutes. So if you got anything, you know, more than what's that, an hour and a half, something in that line, you're gonna have to restart your timer on this thing. But you know, would I buy one myself? They're relatively inexpensive. I looked on them on Amazon before I even said yes, and I was reading some of the feedbacks from some of the Amazon customers, and you know, they were good reviews. I would probably say, you know, is there a better quality, maybe a heavier weight single probe thermometer out there? There very well could be. I would use this personally compared to my ThermoPro single probe that I have. The only benefit to this one is that it has a additional monitor, so that I can, when it goes off, the alarm goes off, I can be warned wherever I'm at the time. So this one does not have that. You have to keep checking on it until you hear it start going off with the alarm. So that would be a drawback, but you know, that's not what it is. It's a single probe magnetic meat temperature thermometer for the area, not a wireless Bluetooth type thing. So, but yes, I would buy it. I'm sure there's someone's going to say, but there's so many better ones out there, and you know, there's, you know, some people say Ford trucks are better than Chevy trucks. It's a matter of opinion, and there is higher quality, but you're going to pay more. I don't remember. I think this thing was on sale when I originally looked at it, and it was like under 15 bucks for this thing. And I will be posting a code for a discount. Any of the viewers on YouTube wants to go use the link, they can get a discount on this thermometer. And the link for the thermometer period will also be in the description of the video. I'm rambling like crazy, so I'm going to shut up. I'm Lance from St. Mary's County, Maryland, Sleeper Barbecue. Thanks for joining us, and glad to be back in the seat of the cooking area here, and We'll see if we can't be a little bit more consistent. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.